We started some work focused on the prevention of child sexual abuse. This is a topic that wasn't getting a lot of attention in our state, and so we were trying to figure out, we convened a group of state experts to say, what should we do? What could have the greatest impact at a policy level, statewide? Everybody said, well, we need to come up with better standards for youth-serving organizations, because we know that predators will sometimes get jobs where they have access to kids, and we know a lot of less sophisticated organizations may not want to talk about this or know much about it, doesn't think it's going to happen, but soccer clubs and after-school programs and mentoring programs, those types of things. There's not a whole department to enforce these standards, but every organization in their funding has to answer that in writing to how they've complied. So it's a step one in the policy process, but it affects, again, 800 organizations at once, right? So that's the kind of, it's real systems change. They gave us a little bit of money to do some training, a webinar training for organizations to hear about how and what they could do, practical ideas, so we did that as well. And we've done a follow-up 90 days after that webinar to say, okay, we told you about the standards. Have you taken that information and done anything? About 80% of the organizations that sat in on that webinar have changed their policies or taken action within their agency and done something differently. Now, if you're somebody looking for a job where you have access to kids because, you're Jerry Sandusky or whatever, the first thing that happens in our organization, you're handed that sheet of paper and asked to sign it. Now, again, we don't know whether somebody's walking out the door because they get that, but it's just the type of shot across the bow that says this isn't a hidden topic. We know about it, we're educated and strong, and so it's an example, but we are conducting additional evaluation to show how it actually does translate into behavior of parents and organizations to protect kids. We talked about how do we combine the community and the business sector and the private sector, the public sector all together. One of the things that we've also done is we're trying to mobilize communities throughout the state to take on the education of other adults and parents and organizations in their region around preventing child sexual abuse. We've given them a research-based curriculum and trained them, and we provide a free 2-day training. And then they go out to their community, like you said, and try to reach, it may be their church or their faith-based organization. It may be their YMCA.